Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk, thinking right out here in the lab. Midday now, but doing what I do for you. Boy, I've been out here all morning. I came up with a good concept. I hope you like it. Let's go. Writers in 25 Rules to Live By. Storyteller. Story with a message. Message in the story for life. I'm giving life lessons. You tuning in to receive them. We got a good thing going. Let's ride. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. That's my mission I'm on for all right thinkers to do just that. Know themselves. I'm going to give you everything you need to make that happen. All you got to do is put your work in. Let's go. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. I love you. That's why I do what I do for you. Stay tuned. I got you. A person who knows not and believe that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows, but knows not that they know, is asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock. I'm here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons, they reside in you. Right thinkers know that self. And to my act, be true. I'm going back again. And let me let you know a little quick note. I do book lessons. Okay, I got a bunch of them around me. And I do my lessons. I keep the lesson. But I tried the book lesson. Some liked it, some didn't. I do my lessons. Some like that, some don't. So today I combined the two. See how you like this lesson. Got a little bit of book, got a little bit of me. Let's go. Right thinkers, let's talk about Christ. I'm gonna break down Christ. Anyone who attains Christhood, again, for the Christian followers and understanding, I got a little something for you too. Relax, okay? But then we got Buddha. Buddha is the one who attained enlightenment. He knew himself at the meditation and contemplating. He came to enlightenment, aka he found himself. He knew himself. So this is a lesson in you got Christians want to attain Christhood. You do that by what? Learning all you can about Christ and be like Christ. Hindus want to attain enlightenment. They want to know themselves. Be like Buddha, aka know thyself. Right thinkers. We want to attain spiritual enlightenment, aka neat house. To do what? Know thyself. Egyptians. They want to live Mayat, attain Horushood, or Haruhood, excuse me, knowledge of self, aka mastery of self. All these philosophical principles have different ways of saying the same thing and getting to the same place. So back to third grade level names, homonyms, antonyms, synonyms, they all sound different, but they all mean the same thing. Hope you get that concept. I'm reading something right quick from the book. Right here, I got diagrams, and I wish I had a way to get rid of this PowerPoint thing there. But it breaks down all different philosophical concepts. And it says below is a summary of yoga systems, the Patanjali, and the philosophy of Buddha. We're going to do Buddha today. Now, each represents the many paths, hear me, the many paths to union with the divine, which may be used intricately according to the psychological makeup, character of the individual. You can use it any way you want. And all tenets, watch this, within these philosophical systems are present within the Egyptian philosophy of Maya since 5000 BCE. So we're going to deal with what I call the Buddha wheel. It's 8 ways that you can get to nirvana. They call nirvana. Us knowing thyself to them was nirvana. Okay, so let's see how they do it. Okay, they're going to tell you. The Hindus do this. You got Haru, you got Christ, you got Buddha. These are all titles. Okay? These are all titles. Christ wasn't Jesus' last name, or Yahshua's last, whoever you want to call him, wasn't his last name. It was a title given to those who fit the bill. Sage is a title. Let's go. When you are Christ-like, you know you and God, aka higher self, or as he put it, your Father are one. That's what he said. My Father and I are one. The kingdom of heaven is within. So he's telling you it ain't out there, it's in here, Christians. So don't look for God anywhere other than or Christ. Same place. Okay, same person. All right. Let me see right here. In much the same way as the term Christ refers to anyone who has attained what? Christhood. The term Buddha refers to anyone who have attained what? The state of enlightenment. In this context, there have been many male and female Christ and Buddhas throughout history. I told you, your Christ wasn't the first, he was the last. Messianic Christ to come back to support the Savior. We're going to talk about, we'll get to this next. Let's talk about the titles. When you are Christ-like, you know you are God of one, right? Now, in Hindu, you have to be what? Noble. Understand and live by the noble truth. What's nobility? For the good, for the better. Okay? Higher level, the good stuff. When I was a Mason, we practiced using Masonic tools. You have one for the practical use, then you have one for the speculative use, which is what they call a more noble and glorious purpose, meaning it's going to help you internally. It's going to give you more character, more understanding, more uprightness, more nobility. Okay? The nobles, special breed. But that's the concept. Okay, watch this. Now you got the Hindus have to live by their noble truth, just like the Egyptians and right thinkers live by their spiritual truths. Everybody have what they do. Now we're gonna go by the Buddha wheel. Okay, before I get to that, okay, all right, that's like it. The Buddha wheel is a blueprint, so to speak, like the tree of life. They use the Buddha wheel to express what? To reach enlightenment. They're trying to become enlightened. They're trying to know themselves, become one with their higher self, one with God. They had the concept. We're gonna do theirs. Okay. Let's look at what the wheel of law, the noble truth of suffering. The first question is tell you, what's the noble truth? What's the real truth of what suffering? The cause of suffering, watch this, is ding, 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 ding. You ready for this? Ignorance. Even in Hindu, ignorance is a bad thing. They call it avidya. Okay, that's ignorance. You have a fundamental, watch this, we have a fundamental misconception about reality until we open up our third eye. Watch this. But they tell you, the Hindus, they tell you the number one hindrance to enlightenment for most of us is, again, ignorance. You can't get around taking care of the ignorant aspect because you can't do nothing ignorant but wild out and be ignorant. Now, that's what keeps man, watch this, going in the proverbial circle, round and around, chasing his tail, so to speak, going nowhere. And for young people, buffering. When you see your computer doing that, you know it's doing nothing. It's trying to figure something out. It's going through its own changes. So they use the wheel, the circle. And yeah, they invented the wheel. Egyptians didn't have wheel. They had sled. They pulled everything. That's another lesson. But yeah, they invented the wheel. All right, and the number zero. Well, not the number, but the zero to the number equation. Another lesson, quickly. All right, but watch this. Now, let's talk about the noble truth of how to end suffering. Yeah, if we know what causes it, if you know the cause, you should know the effect and the solution. So let's talk about how to end it. The end of suffering is, you ready for this? Enlightenment. The basis of Buddha's teachings, watch this, is the way to nature. Or excuse me, is the way to nirvana, aka enlightenment. We call it spiritual enlightenment, we call it nihas, they call it nirvana. But it means knowing thyself. Here is the Buddha way. Here we go. Now it's eight slices like a pie. It's eight slices to the Buddha wheel, and all of them signify something. Let's go over that right quick. I'm gonna break it down for you. Hope you get the lesson. This is a good one. I enjoy this. Now here's the Buddha's wheel. The noble eightfold path is what the practical means to do what? Detangle the knot of what? Ignorance. What they're saying is we're going to enlighten you with knowledge from your ignorant state to enlightenment state of knowledge. Same thing. Understand that. And watch this. The knot of ignorance and the illusions of what? The material world. We live in the material world. We want money. We want lots of it. We want more. And we'll pretty much do anything to get it. Not working even in the Hindu concept. Okay? Now let's go. Starting with the pie. Let's take the first slice. The first slice is right understanding. With your third eye open, you learn to see the world as it truly is. That's called having the veil of ignorance lifted. You know yourself now, so you're no longer ignorant of yourself, so you see everything the way it is. Hence, third eye opening, seeing all. Bam. And this is Hindu. Next one is right thoughts. Let's understand that right thought is what? Understanding that thoughts have what? Great power on oneself and others. Understand that. And that whatever one focuses on gains more life. That means whatever we think, whatever we focus on, gains life. Gets more and more water. And why is this? They say that because guess what? When it gains more life, one becomes it. We are what we think we are. Even in their concept. They got the concept right. I like this. I'm dealing with them because what? They just right on point. Saying it different, but they right on point. They know how to get you there. Like I said, there's many ways to get to the top of the pyramid. There's many ways to get to God, your higher self. That's all the top of the pyramid is. Calm down. Next one is my favorite, right speech. Makadu. Right speech is what? No, but that's this. That's true speech. That's honest. But right speech is knowing what to say, knowing how to say it, knowing when to say it, and when not to, and shut up and be silent. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is it time to talk? Is it time to shut up? Silence is golden sometimes. Moving on. The next one, we talking about right action. One of my favorites. Okay. Right actions, guidelines for what? Controlling one's behavior. That's the ego. If you can't control your ego, you can't control your behavior. You can't control your emotions. You can't control the psychological misgivings. You have no control over oneself. That's the difference. And by doing that, when you have right action and use the guidelines to control one's behavior, and you're allowing calmness of mind to what? Pursue enlightenment. That means you staying focused and staying true to the task of bettering yourself by becoming enlightened. Through your personal experiences, you have to better yourself by acting and adjusting to the situations and acting accordingly. That's important. You know why? Not speaking, and by doing this means you're not speaking falsely to people, you're not spreading gossip, and more important, you're not consuming alcohol or drugs. That's important. When you adding stuff to your life, you got nothing but more problems. Simplify, simplify, and simplify some more. Okay, make it real simple, stupid. Next one is right livelihood. It's my neighborhood. Why? Right livelihood is, watch this, is making a living in such a way as to what benefit oneself and all others. I work on Wednesdays on the streets helping people get off the drugs, opioid response team, ACPC crew. We out there trying to help them better themselves. On Thursday, I'm in the house teaching and working on spiritually enlightening my students at the house. So my job is very beneficial to me and those who I serve. Bam. Right livelihood. Now, next one is right effort. Right effort is what? Determination and perseverance in one's spiritual discipline to transcend one's lower nature. Meaning, I'm doing everything I could to be set out. I don't want to have my ego running and controlling me. My lower nature have to give in to my higher nature. I'm raising my conscious level by doing things the right way, acting, doing, being, and thinking right. So I had the ability to do that. So do you. That's right effort. If you put the effort in, you get the results out. Next one is here's another one. Here's one a lot of people don't think. Right mindfulness. What do you mean mindfulness? Yeah, see? Right mindfulness is what? Learning how to be aware of everything that one that you do at when? All times. I call it being God conscious. Same thing. I just told you, I need to keep God in everything I do. That keeps me spiritually disciplined and keep me in due bounds with my higher self. That's what they're telling you. That's what right mindfulness is. I call it God conscious. They say right mindfulness. I agree. Watch this. And the main thing is, watch this. With right mindfulness, you're in control at all times. Not acting, watch this, automatically by reacting to what? Events as an animal. Anger, jealousy, all those negative aspects, when you act on them, that's what you're doing. Okay, you're not being mindful. Next one, I think this is the last one, my favorite, right meditation. I'm setting up a spot out back for my little personal spot. Okay, my ritualistic spot in the morning because we get new stuff done, stuff being done. So I'm back to I can straighten out and they set aside of me a ritualistic spot. See, my own little memorial. Everybody have to have their own ritual set up. I got mine inside. I got one outside. Okay. When you're praying, you should have some understanding and some direction of what you're praying, who you're praying to. Not about who you're praying for, but who you're praying to. And wrap this up. Again, right meditation is a way to watch this, to transcend, to commune into a higher form of consciousness. When you go into meditative state, you're communing with your higher state, and that's how you raise your consciousness by getting downloaded direct information from your higher self, intuitive knowledge, aka self-knowledge, stuff that you didn't get out of the book, stuff to know, stuff that's downloaded into you from your higher self, aka know thyself. That's the end game to anything when it comes to dealing with spiritual or philosophical concepts of getting or to knowing God. We're not in the belief business, we're into knowing. Right thing is, I hope you like the lesson. I got more. We'll be back.